Welcome back to the Dynasty Theory YouTube channel. What we're going to talk about today is the top 5 running backs in Dynasty. And I'm sure you're thinking, we do these lists all the time. Why does it matter in September? So for running backs, I actually think it matters a ton. So I'll explain why while we're going through the video, but I'm just going to start now. Running back 1 is, of course, going to be Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor so far this year, even with a bad week 2, has still been exactly what we wanted. And more so, he has 40 rush attempts already. And we really care about usage, right? Guys falling into the end zone and stuff, that's whatever. That happens every week of the year during the season, and it's pretty unpredictable. Usage is what we really care about when it comes to Dynasty and what we're looking at moving forward throughout the year. And so with Jonathan Taylor, he's actually ran 56 snaps to where he ran a route. And now, so that's huge because going into the season, everyone, including myself, thought Nyheim Hines was going to be the pass down back. Again, actually looks like Jonathan Taylor is turning into just that workhorse back for the Indianapolis Colts. And as long as that offensive staff can slowly get Matt Ryan to play a little bit better, hopefully some better game scripts, I mean, the chance of Jonathan Taylor not finishing the season as the running back 1 in Dynasty, just extremely low. So he's actually like one of the safest values you could get right now in Dynasty, even though you have to pay so much for him, just because he's locked in, like we talked about last week's with Andrews and Pitts. Some guys are just locked into the values no matter really what happens to him for the rest of the season. So with Jonathan Taylor, a lot is expected. There's not a lot to say about it. But moving on to running back 2, this was hard. It was really hard, and I'm still going to stick with Christian McCaffrey. The problem with Christian McCaffrey so far is Baker Mayfield doesn't look good. Like, he doesn't look like a good quarterback right now, and he's only had 25 rushing attempts. He's actually ran less routes than Jonathan Taylor has. And how does that make any sense if you're Christian McCaffrey? You have to hope that Matt Rule, the coaching staff, could be like, look, we just need to give Christian McCaffrey the ball 25 times a game, no matter what. And that's my hope moving forward. There's not a lot of reasons to keep Christian McCaffrey as running back 2, besides just the hope that he could get there throughout the rest of the season, because his projections and everything is still going to be higher than even what Jonathan Taylor has weekly. There's the chance to where he could get 8 to 9 catches, 80 yards, get 15 rushes, get over 100 and a touchdown. There's just not any other backs in the NFL who are going to do that on a week in and week out basis. So while Christian McCaffrey is getting older, for right now, he's holding on to that running back 2 spot in Dynasty. Now, running back 3, this is why running back 2 was so hard for me. Running back 3 is DeAndre Swift. With DeAndre Swift, I mean, he's looked amazing so far this year. Everything we kind of hoped that DeAndre Swift could be coming into the league, he's doing that and more so. And so moving forward, there's every chance he could be running back 2 within just a couple of weeks in Dynasty. We've seen how fast values can change. Last week in the Dynasty Theory Discord, there was a lot of talk on, can you trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Chris Godwin? After 1 week, how much do you have to add to Godwin to get to Amon-Ra St. Brown? Probably a late first, probably an early second. That's how fast things change in Dynasty. And it's easily how fast DeAndre Swift can take over that running back 2 Dynasty value. The only thing that's really holding him back is the Lions really love to use Jamal Williams at the goal line. And for good reason. Jamal's amazing at the goal line. He's just a really good back by himself. And so while people are like, oh, Swift's in a timeshare, yada, yada, pretty much every back outside of Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, they're all in committee backfields. So moving forward, the biggest thing we need to see from DeAndre Swift, that questionable tag has to go away. Every single week, I mean, this has been pretty much since he's been in the league. You have to worry about his injury status. Kind of reminds me a lot of Austin Eckler, to where they play a lot of games, but all week long you're worrying, are they actually going to be on the field? And as far as moving up in the ranks, getting that running back 2, you just have to have faith that weekly that guy's going to be healthy. And so far, DeAndre Swift hasn't done it. So it's kind of another reason why he hasn't taken over that running back 2 role over Christian McCaffrey. This is where it gets fun, right? So, running back 4 isn't in the NFL right now. It's Bijan Robinson out of Texas. And before anyone gets like, whoa, he's not in the, what if there's an injury? Maybe there is an injury. But this is just going to show what the running back landscape in Dynasty is right now, right? DeAndre Swift is only ranked running back 3 because he's looked good so far this season. If he looked worse, Bijan Robinson would be running back 3. That's just how bad running backs are right now. I mean, you look at it weekly, it's hard to pick a running back that you have a lot of confidence in going into that week. With Bijan Robinson, he already has 6 touchdowns in 3 games this season. He's looking the part. He is doing everything that we expect him to do. And a lot of draft pundits out there have him as a top 25 draft pick. And if he goes in the first round, gets just to a somewhat of a good situation, there's every chance in the world if I did this same video in 6 weeks, Bijan Robinson is the running back 2. If everything keeps going as it is, that 23 101 draft pick in all of your dynasty leagues is going to be probably going in the first round of startup drafts if you do a draft before the season starts. I mean, that's how much value he has. Bijan Robinson's probably going to be in a startup, 109, probably the 10th pick in the draft, because that's how much upside he is, and that's just how bad the dynasty landscape is around running backs. There isn't a lot to choose from, so everyone's going to gravitate to the youngest and best next thing. We've seen it with many running backs. I mean, look where we rank Josh Jacobs, Antonio Gibson, all those other backs who we're just looking for that hope. And then when they don't work out, then they immediately just crash down to value. But the good thing with Bijan Robinson is I don't think we have to worry for 1 second that he isn't going to work out. So I'm really interested to see 6 weeks from now, if that's how it plays out, if Bijan Robinson just ends up being the running back 2, because maybe Christian McCaffrey plays the exact same as he did the first 2 weeks. Maybe DeAndre Swift is a little injured and he misses a couple games that time. There's every chance that it could be Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, and everybody else in Dynasty. So that brings me back now to the running back 5. This one was really hard for me because I think that value-wise, it's Javonte Williams right now in Denver. He almost doubled up Melvin Gordon snaps in week 2. He's getting the pass down work. He's getting red zone work. He's getting everything that you want, right? I personally worry about that offense. And at the same time, I can't say Naji Harris is the running back 5 over Javonte because that offense is terrible as long as Mitchell Trubisky is the quarterback. And this is the worry. Naji Harris should be locked in as the running back 5. But Jay Glazer came out this past week and said Mike Tomlin really wants Mitch Trubisky to start all year. If Mitch Trubisky starts all year, that is going to kill Naji Harris's value. And he's going to end up dropping below running back 5. He could end up being 8 or 9 going into next season because that's just how quick we have to react to these things now. We've seen the changing landscapes in Dynasty. We have to stay on top of it. Now, let's just say the Broncos end up having a mediocre year and Javonte Williams only gets 5 or 6 touchdowns. Maybe Mitch Trubisky starts the whole year and Naji Harris just looks like he has the past 2 weeks. If that happens, Sean Tucker or Jahmyr Gibbs probably going to be the running back 5 and running back 6 in Dynasty going into next season. They should have the draft capital, and there's other running backs too who could prop up here. But in the NFL, there's really not a lot. You could kind of hope Breece Hall does, but the Jets love Michael Carter. You could kind of hope that Kenneth Walker can somehow be good. The Seahawks aren't a good offense, and Rashad Penny is going to keep getting work. So as far as doing this sort of tier list so early in the season, I mean, we're going into week 3. It starts tonight. This top 5 list, it's almost set in stone. Like, even if DeAndre Swift goes out and gets injured, he's going to be pretty close to a top 5. If Christian McCaffrey, he just has to play like he normally is, and he's going to stay in the top 5. Jonathan Taylor, locked into running back 1. That's when the fun part starts, though. That's when while you're adjusting your values on draft picks, while you're going to trade draft picks, are you going to compete? Are you not going to compete? This might be the year to where let's say you're the 7th best team in the league, but you could trade your first round pick and you could get someone, say Mike Evans, Rashad Bateman, someone like that, someone that you really like. You better hope that they give you better playoff chances, because if you're missing out on Gibbs, on Tucker, and you're just getting a wide receiver in return, these running backs are going to hold so much value moving forward because there just aren't a lot of good ones in the NFL anymore. But that's it for today's episode. Please like, subscribe. If you want to join the Dynasty Theory Discord, hit us up on Twitter. We'll send you a link. And I appreciate everything. We'll talk to you guys next time.